găsit tuturor! Astăzi la interviurile DC News l-avem ca invitat pe Uri Levine, cofondator al companiei Wazwe. Wazwe este o aplicație de trafic care funcționează prin navigație GPS și ajută milioane de oameni din întreaga lume să ajungă la destinație. First of all, I want to thank you for having you here today. It's really an honor to have you as a guest. So, I want to ask you, is Wazwe planning to launch an application for pedestrians also?
So, I'm no longer with Waze, right? So I don't know what their plans are. But when we started, we were focusing on drivers on their daily commute, right? So no pedestrian, no the cab drivers, no truck drivers, no nothing else. Just people going to work and coming back, and that was the focus that we started with.
Okay, because this was the second question, because I wanted to ask you if you know about plans about developing an application for electric scooters. I know that you're also using a bicycle. So, uh,
So
what
I'm
about this
I'm
kind of navigation?
bicycle riders usually don't need navigation, right? Because they can ride everywhere, and there are bike routes that have no traffic jams and no issues there. So obviously, less of an issue there.
In Bucharest, they need it. It's not the same. It's depending on their way.
Yeah, I guess it is. But that again, the focus of Waze was really on commuting and reducing traffic and saving people time on their everyday.
Okay, I understand. Those people traveling abroad, that they may incur data roaming charges if they are using Waze. Is there any chance that you can offer an offline service for Waze?
So Waze does not have an offline service, but I would say you can download the Here We Go application that is a competitor to Waze and actually do have offline maps and offline information.
Okay, that's a good idea. Also, this is a problem that we have in Bucharest and in Romania, and usually, and it is interesting to know if Waze can correct or see the misstatements of road administrators. In Romania, for example, we have situation where the road isn't finished in reality, although it is declared functional and it is presented as finished, but in fact it's not, and it is a forest road, and you cannot get there with an ordinary car. You cannot go there.
So I think that the way that Waze works is that it collects all the data from the drivers that are using that, right? So if not a lot of drivers are driving there, or this is a forest road and people are driving there very slow, then most likely it will not route people to go there because it's slow. At the end of the day, it's the only thing that matters for the Waze users is how long it's going to take you to get there.
So yeah, that's correct. That's correct. Also, I wanted to ask you if there is any chance for Waze to, I don't know, develop any device that would be dedicated only for Waze, or maybe
Yeah.
a collaboration with a company, with a car company, for
So
the users that they don't want to use the application on their phone, so they can have just a device with Waze.
so in many places there is an in-car Android system or in-car tablet or based on tablet that can actually run the Waze application there. In my car in Tel Aviv, I actually have the entertainment system is Android based, and I have a Waze application there, and this is what I'm doing.
That's an idea, but for a motorcycle,
Yeah,
you cannot
motorcycles
put it.
probably less.
Yeah, you probably cannot put it there. Now about the visit you have here now in Romania, in Bucharest, what are the statistics that impressed you regarding Romania, good or bad?
So, I'm only here for a short visit because I thought that what Unotera is doing is very unique in terms of changing the future for all of us. And in 10 years time frame, when we will look back, we would need to tell ourselves that 10 years ago we were unable to predict the earthquake. Right? 10 years ago there was no iPhone. 10 years ago there was no Waze. And so changes are so dramatic that in a scale of 10 years, I simply believe that today we are at the beginning of change like that.
Yeah, that's true. But I suppose that you had some idea about the traffic in Bucharest because you've been here, I suppose,
You know, it
from the.
wasn't that bad. I arrived earlier today. I arrived when traffic is not bad traffic, and from my experience, Bucharest is not that bad.
That's great news. Another question it is about the public transport. I know that there are some applications that are doing this thing, but we are wondering if maybe Waze would want, I don't know, in order to make a better traffic, especially for public transport, to cooperate with local authorities. For example, for those people waiting for their bus, to know exactly where it is in that moment and when it
So,
will arrive.
so I would say use Move It. Move It is another one of my startups, and it's actually doing whatever Waze does, but for public transportation. Yeah, and it's everywhere, right? It's like in 3,500 cities around the globe, and it's very, very accurate. Now, the importance of public transportation is even much more important than drivers, right? Because at the end of the day, you look at traffic jams today and 10 years ago, and they are more severe today than they were 10 years ago, right? And the nature of the beast is the ratio between the number of passengers and number of vehicles, right? And if you drive your own car, then this ratio, or you occupy too much space. If you carpool with someone else, if you are using public transportation, if you are using the smaller vehicles like bicycle, then you actually reduce traffic, and this is what we need to do. And so Move It is now in a better position of reducing traffic jams than Waze, because one of the things that Waze did is actually increase the use of the roads.
But it's not possible to combine those application and make
I don't think that you need to combine them. I
the
think that
whole service, the whole package in just one.
eventually, maybe in the future, we will have sort of mobility services that will tell us today take the bus, today take your bicycle, today take your car, right? And they might be different, but today, I think that the decision which means of transportation we're gonna use happening first. And I would say if you are not aware of Move It in Bucharest, then you should. Then you should promote that because that will help a lot of people to save a lot of time.
I know about it. I don't know how many people know about it, but it is great. That's what I can say about it. You said that an offline version it's not possible of Waze, but could be possible to download the maps
I don't know.
in the future?
I don't know. I'm no longer
Okay,
there.
so you don't know right now. Okay, but do you know how many Wazers are using the application monthly right now? I know that there are like more than hundreds millions
I
around the
think
world, but I don't know
there
exactly
are probably
monthly.
about 400 or 500 million around the world. By the way, Move It has more, so 600 million of Move It users. And on a regular basis, probably about 200 million of them are using Waze every day or every month.
But that should be a good news that Movit has
Yes, it is.
more users
It's
because that
actually,
means that there are more people using public transport and
that's right.
willing
And this is
to use
very
it.
good news, right?
Oh, that's yeah. And I want to ask you also a question about the partnership with Google. What that meant for Waze? I know that this was a really big
So,
change for.
so, so so Google acquired Waze in 2013, and we knew before the acquisition that when Google acquired company, they actually let them go and execute their mission and dream, and that was critically important for us because in our mission we wanted to help drivers to avoid traffic jams. And Waze is still doing that, right? It tells you this is the fastest route and this is how long it's going to take you and so forth. So for us, it was very, very important that Waze remains Waze with the mission that we had. And Google allowed us to do that. Right? And so with that, I would say thank you, Google.
Before this happened, I know that Waze was your dream to stop these traffic jams. And I know that when you had the idea, you had to wait a lot until you were able to give it to the world. And I want to know how was it? Why you where did you find the strength to move on and keep going on this fight?
You know, when you go into this journey, you fall in love with the problem and you want to solve that, and this is the only thing that matters for you. So you have this destiny of solving that problem, right? This is your destiny, and you build the right team around you, and the team and the destiny or the mission are the one that keeps you fighting uphill even when nothing works, right? And this is for all the entrepreneurs, by the way. It's always the same, right? It's an uphill battle, and if your mission is right and the team is right, then most likely you will be successful with doing that.
You've been rejected many times, so you didn't lost your hope, you didn't lost your motivation, and you just kept moving forward.
You never give up. You simply never give up.
Okay, that's a good advice.
It is.
Um, you are here today with this whole phenomenon about earthquakes, and this new thing could do so many great stuff for humanity. What do you think about it? How do you think it will impact the lives of people? A product like this.
So the ability to predict earthquake in an order of magnitude of many hours, it's huge impact, right? Because today earthquakes are kind of a surprise for us, right? And we are not preparing for them. We can prepare long term, right? To build better infrastructure. But when it happens, they usually devastating damages and a lot of casualties, a lot of injuries, and those we can prevent. So what's going to happen to this building if there is an earthquake? Maybe we cannot prevent, but for the people that are in here, we can save them.
Uh, we had 50 years ago a huge catastrophe here in Bucharest, so we are really delicate with these problems, and we still have buildings in Bucharest that are not safe for
Of
this
course,
kind of
there are
phenomena.
always buildings that are not
So
safe, right? And so this is everywhere, right? But if you know that there will be an earthquake later on today, right, or in the next 5 hours, then you're not staying in buildings that are not safe.
yeah,
Simply getting out.
that's true. Thank you so much for your time. It
Thank you.
was such an honor. Thank you for giving us your time. Thank you.
Thank you.